To the House.
I call the honourable member Stephen Browning.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. Before I start to speak on the dairy bill, I'd just like to take a minute to pass on condolences from the Green Party caucus and staff to the family and friends of Dave Allinson. Dave Allinson was, as many of you know, a very liked member of the staff here in Parliament. He did 23 years in Parliament, and I was one of the new people here, but he was an important person already, and I appreciated him a lot. So the Greens would just like to acknowledge Dave in this instance. Mr Chair, the Greens oppose this bill, and we have certainly stated that before. We do not believe Fonterra or this national government have a mandate to push it through. We've heard a little bit about the numbers, and I want to go back on those numbers again. We believe that is likely that may even be slightly under 50% of actual farmers that voted for this. 66% of the farmers that voted, the Minister said. Where are the figures? How many farmers actually voted for TAF? It's not how many votes. 53% of milk solid voted for TAF. This does not reflect how many farmers, but how many votes the huge corporate farmers are carrying these days. My understanding is 80% of the 66% vote may not have been the little family farmers, but the Minister, Fonterra and the Fonterra Shareholders Council need to front up with the real numbers. None of them are supplying the real numbers of how many actual farmers voted for TAF. Mr Chair, this House needs to know how many actually supported TAF. Fonterra poorly informed its members and the community about redemption risk, and we've heard it again from the Minister. This bill is not needed. The retentions that have been held by Fonterra in the past, significant retentions in sequential years, show that redemption risk is not needed. The retentions cure that. So neither Fonterra or the national government have this mandate. And I'd remind all those involved in primary industries how the poultry industry votes as well, by eggs or chickens, not by the farmers. Individual farmers get affected, individual dairy farmers get affected. But having big industry moguls dominating and pushing does not reflect what is needed for New Zealand family farmers. This bill, Mr Chair, is very much, as we've stated before, the cousin of the asset sales bill that was passed with a similar push by the national government. This government is into selling out everything, and not just our power companies, our solid energy, Air New Zealand, those sorts of things. Now we're selling out the actual fundamental dividend stream of one of New Zealand's main export industries. This government's selling everything it can to its mates and, often enough, overseas interests. And Mr Chair, we already have a major sellout of forestry in this country. We're having a sellout of power companies. We're having a sellout of dairy. What's next? We need to ask the Minister for Primary Industries that he intends to sell out of New Zealand's primary industry the basis for the backbone of New Zealand. What else are we going to be selling off to overseas interests, Mr. Chair? Thank you.
I call the Honourable